year, like I got to interview Allen Iverson, and he's
Ooh.
from Virginia, like me, and
Wow,
that was just so like surreal. I was just
that's
like,
wild.
I just gotta get it, I just gotta get it, I just gotta go. I just gotta flip it, I just gotta flip it, watch the money grow. So a little mama, drop it down to the floor.
Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Dear Radio. You already know it's your boy, Dear LeBrankston, and we're back with another Storytime segment where we bring in special guests to talk about their story and their journeys. You already know, like I said, it's your boy, LeBrankston. Got my co-host with me here today, Dear Michael and Dear TKD2. Unfortunately, Dear Siege could not be here tonight, but like I always say, the show must go on. How we doing, fellas?
Good,
man.
good.
Yeah, having a good
Another
week so
great
far?
episode.
Yeah,
Of course.
Of course.
Man. Time we could do your radio. It's always a good week, right?
Yeah, of course. Every single day.
yes, it is.
Um,
Yeah, and when you kind of hit on your bets, been doing pretty good this week, everybody. Just want everybody to know that
Yeah.
Okay.
you got to
Yeah.
listen to this pod. That Dear TKD is back on the wagon, man. We doing good, man.
Hey, you're welcome.
Doing good. Nah, I ain't giving you no credit, bro.
I know you don't. But like I said earlier, Storytime segment is a segment where we bring in guests each week to speak on their story. And today we have another phenomenal guest. She has a remarkable background in journalism and media, and she has remarkable strides in both social and traditional media landscapes. She started out working out with NBC 12, moved on to other projects with Aspire TV, and now we are very excited to hear about her current career status. Please join me in welcoming our guest tonight, and that is Shanique. How you doing?
I'm great. How are y'all? Hi, guys.
Good.
Good. Thank you for coming on board.
Thanks for having me. I'm so excited.
And we're also excited to have you on the show. Mike's been talking about you for a couple weeks now, trying to get you on the show. Talked a little bit about what you've done. He shared your Instagram with me, and I was very excited once we started talking more about you, and glad we finally got you scheduled in.
Absolutely.
But before we go too much further into the interview, Storytime segment is always based off of a word of the week. This week's word of the week is transformation. So after the interview, we'll kind of dive into the word of the week, transformation. Give the audience a little bit about what we think about that word and how we use it in our daily lives. But without further ado, tell us a little bit about yourself and where you're from.
Yeah, well, hi y'all. My name is Shanique, and I am from Dinwiddie County, Virginia. It is a little small town just about 45 miles south of Virginia's capital of Richmond. I am a journalist. I have always loved telling stories ever since I was a kid. And so I went to VCU up here in Richmond and pursued a degree, well, earned my degree in mass communications with a focus in broadcast journalism. Because when I got to school, they were like, magazines are dying. And I always envisioned me like being like Sydney Shaw from Brown Sugar.
Yeah.
And so I was like,
Classic
okay,
movie.
yes,
Classic
yes. And
movie.
so I was just like, you know what? I will do broadcast journalism. I will push myself. And I'm glad that I did because like I took a very non-traditional, like of course I did traditional schooling or whatever, but like the path to get to like where I am now is very like non-traditional. But I'm having fun and I feel like I'm living like a childhood dream every day. So it's it's fun.
No, I mean that's amazing to hear. I know, we all went to, University of Kentucky, and we kind of found our interest there, I would say. Like we had an idea of like we want to do YouTube or do, especially those two, they want to do gaming at a high level. Now just Twitch around. So like during school, after talking to, your advisor or professor about, journalism, and then she's saying like everything would be, is that more so how you found your passion, or was it passion all the way from like early childhood? 'Cause I just want to ask, like, where did you find your passion for film and television? Obviously, it's evident in your work, but like, what initially sparked your interest in that, and then like, how has your journey shaped your unique voice in the industry today?
Yeah, so actually, I have a second grade teacher, Mrs. Simmons. It's so funny
Mm.
because whenever I visit home, she cooks me breakfast. That like gives you like an idea of how small the area is that where I come
It's
from.
wild.
But In second grade, like we would start the day with journal entries, and I just thought it was a normal thing. And during like a parent teacher conference, she told my parents, she was like, she really writes really well, and she's in second grade. Like, so she encouraged me like with writing, like pushed me, like told me different careers, like, you can be an author and things like that. And I was like, oh, I'm in second grade, so I'm like, whatever. And
Yeah.
in second grade, I think that was like the year, I can't remember. It was second grade. It was like 1999. So like as a kid, I know this is like an aside, but as a kid, that was the year where it was like 2000 was going to be the end of the world. So like
I
my
see
main
what you mean.
focus was like making it to Y2K in the second
That's
grade.
wild.
Like
Oh,
so
okay.
I didn't really give it much thought. I actually shied away from it, and I like was like, "Oh, I'm gonna be a pharmacist, or I'm gonna do like all of these other things." And then in high school, I had another teacher in 11th grade. It was history class. Coach, his name escapes me right now, but he in the mornings I would come in. I'm a huge Dallas Cowboys fan, so in the mornings I would come in and give like a rundown on the game, and he was like, "Oh, like have you thought about going to school for journalism?" And I was like, I haven't. And so I started looking into it. I started looking into Robin Roberts, Carrie Champion, and I was like, I'm gonna be a sports
Champion.
reporter. Like, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? I was like, I'm gonna be a sports reporter. Like, that's my end all be all. So I literally went to VCU with that in mind. Like, I'm gonna be on the sideline, like reporting on like all sports, not just football. But then like
Mhm.
life happened, things like changed around. And luckily I do have some sports folks that I've interviewed. And I still get to like touch sports. But yeah, that's really how like it was my teachers. And then in third grade, I did like oratorical contest. I was like a very nerdy kid. I was obsessed with Martin Luther King Jr. and I used to learn his speeches and recite them for my family. And so I really liked moving people with my voice. It was just like so cool. And I think it's so funny because I was a very shy kid. I read a lot. My parents and like my family, they were actually concerned that I was not going to have good social skills going to school. And I stuttered a lot as a kid, like really, really bad. And so now I'm here. Everything like worked out.
That's what's up.
That's
Besides the Cowboys fan
very,
part, I'm just going to ignore the
um,
Cowboys fan part.
oh man.
Can't do the Cowboys. Oh man. Everything else
Uh,
is great.
Oh my gosh. Why? Who's your team?
I'm a Colts fan, but the Cowboys haven't done anything one since you have been born. One since any of us have been
Actually,
born. No,
they
no. You don't remember it.
I
You
mean,
just know a
I
story.
don't really remember,
Exactly.
I
Exactly.
feel like the 90s. I'm a 92 baby.
No, you don't remember it.
So,
Oh, and you remember games from 2005 on. Let's be honest. No.
no, that's
Well,
fair. That's fair. I feel
hopefully
like
y'all get
that.
it done.
Yeah, every year it's like being a Cowboys fan though is
Yeah,
like being in a toxic relationship.
gotta be.
I get my hopes up every year,
And y'all
and
talk so much shit, and y'all
I'm
never do
not doing
anything.
that. Like, it is what it
I like a
is.
quarterback, though. I like Dak. But other than that, no, can't do it.
no, that's super dope that you were able to experience that. And I always find it fascinating, like how reporters are able to like not only like report stories, but how they actually get stories, how they interpret stories, how they obviously release stories. I always like thought about each top reporter have like their own unique voice and how they interpret things and how they want to, persuade information or just give their insight on just their vision of what it looks like and how it's getting reported. And like your articles are like known for like their insightful analysis and it's very engaging. Like how do you approach your storytelling process, like especially when covering such dynamic, fast-paced industry like entertainment and sports? How does that come about?
Yeah, so for me, I always wanted to I'm just a vessel and I just want to tell people stories. So I really
Mhm.
enjoy just like speaking to people. And as I'm like interviewing, I kind of know in my head how I'm gonna like portray the story or like how I'm going to tell it. And then I always think about my family, like a lot. Like my grandpa, he didn't go to school beyond like the fourth or fifth grade. So when I'm
Mhm.
writing, I'm always like, I want to write this at like at a place where everyone can understand, right? Because I like cover a lot of tech and car stuff now too. And it's
Okay.
so funny because tech people and car people are like the biggest snobs in the world. If you don't use their language, it's just like, get away. Like, so
That's
Yeah.
I'm
true.
just yeah, and like my sister, she's in MIS, and then my best friend, she's also in management. I don't know, managing information systems, something. But I always have to say, like, explain this to me like a 5-year old, like how you would say it to a 5-year old. And so with my approach to my stories, it's just really capturing like I love talking to people about things that make them excited, you know? And usually when people are talking about themselves or their journey, like like it's a spark. And so that
Yeah.
makes my job so much easier because I'm just like, this person loves it and like they are making me love it. I think Tyler, the creator, did an interview one time and he talked about how he loves, like, he was like, I don't care if my friend loves a rock. Like, I'm gonna sit there and
Mhm.
listen to you go on and on about that rock. So that's usually how it is with my subjects. And then I typically like come back. I like to sit with the story and then just kind of like write and write freely. And people are my like family, a lot of times they're like, do you ever get tired of writing? And honestly, I do sometimes. Like I can get burnt out. But something that always makes me or wrangles me back in is like literally going outside and touching grass and like sitting at the bar and talking to people. I get inspired in those ways. And I hope that answers your question.
No, it does. It's almost like you're writing like episode scenes of a
Yeah.
long, oh yeah, like a long, like mini docuseries. Like in a way, how you approach it. I didn't think you approach it as somebody like a director, and it sounds like that's kind of like what it is. Obviously, you have a direction, you vision, and then obviously you got to come back with the actual personal stories. But it doesn't sound like you're actually getting into like a scene, a role, and you're writing and you experiencing different things that allow you to kind of cultivate all the stories or the information to write the stories. And I didn't think journalism have that approach. I've never tried it to know, but it makes sense the way you kind of interpret it right there. And I was like, man, that's pretty beautiful to know. Like that's how you get into character. That's how you get to singing, and in turn, you get to really enjoy the stories that you get to write. And I think obviously you've been doing a tremendous job, and we salute you for that. And you're going to continue doing great things. So it's just fascinating to know.
Thank you so much. And then I was like a really inquisitive child. Like I asked a
Mhm.
lot of questions and I'm like nosy. Like, I wanna know everything. I know guys aren't really into astrology, but, like, I'm a Scorpio, so I'm, like, naturally obsessive. I, like, wanna know everything about everything. So, like, I will literally, like, hone in on a subject and like, that's how I prepare for my interviews. I literally will spend the whole night watching mad interviews or documentaries
Mhm.
or just random things about the people because I just don't want to waste their time asking the same regular or like mundane questions. Yeah, it's like a game for me. It's like I want them to be like, "Whoa, like how did you know that?"
That's crazy.
That is crazy,
Yeah,
but
that's
that's
dope though.
really inspiring.
Yeah, that's
It's really
dope.
inspiring to know that. I mean, it makes sense. Like you get to the point where you're doing it so often that you may run into a lot of the same things, and you obviously you're trying to figure out how to revamp it, refresh it, and make it your own, and obviously create an experience to where people are like, huh, I've been doing this 10 plus years, but nobody asked me that. And the fact that
Yeah.
you did it, it's pretty. It says a lot about you and your character. And then people want to start building relationships with you. They want to see you more often. They want to just talk to you outside of what they're actually doing. And I think that's how you get to capitalize on just the general consumption of what you're doing. And I think that's why I said it makes you more unique. I haven't talked to a lot of reporters or journalism to know, but I can definitely tell like it's definitely a business that's definitely like just like any other business. But I think it's really cool that you're able to do that, and it's a real unique skill that a lot of people aren't able to do. So again, applaud you on that, and I think that's pretty awesome.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, and you actually kind of dove into a little bit of my next question that I was going to ask you. I was going to talk about how you covered a lot of Hollywood events, and one of my questions was how do you prepare for these high profile moments? But it seems like you kind of already dove into that. So I'm going to hit you with another follow up question: is during these events and during these interviews and showing how much you prepare for them, is there any special moment or important moments that you've had covering any of these events or any of these interviews that you've had?
Oh, wow, that's such a good question. Hmm, I journal a lot because I wanna keep up with it. Like, I've been journaling since I was a kid, but, like, standout moments, I would have to say would be, like, my first time working like a BT carpet, right? Because I had a chance to go to an actual BT Awards with my college, like my freshman roommate, and like one of my closest friends, actually. Her dad used to work at BT. So, like, the summer of our freshman year, we went to LA. That was my first time on a plane, like, first time out west. And that was like my first time actually really seeing people doing what I wanted to do. Because again, I come from a very country town, so I'm like telling people like, yes, I want to do this, and they're like, okay, girl, like that's
Yeah.
Yeah.
cool. Like,
Yeah. I
Yep.
know how that feels. I know how that feels.
like I can't really like explain it, but then seeing that, I was like, oh yeah, like it's up, like
Yeah.
I can do this. And so then, like, it was a full circle moment in 2021. I worked the BT Hip Hop Awards, and
Mm.
it was just so surreal, and, like, one of my main questions on the carpet, it was like, paid homage to my favorite movie. I was like, "When did you fall in love with hip hop?" And, like, being able to talk to, like, people like Paul Wall, I'm like, "Oh my god," I got to tell him I was putting, like, gum wrap paper in my mouth as a kid and pretending like they were grills.
Yeah,
That
So,
is
like,
that
yeah,
is
yeah.
yes. The silver
Facts.
mouth. Yes.
yeah, so,
What?
like,
Yes.
moments like
Like,
that, and then, like, even this year, like, I got to interview Allen Iverson, and he's
Ooh.
from Virginia
oh,
like me, and
Wow.
that was just so, like, surreal. I was just
That's
like, "Wow."
wild.
Yeah, and I was just like, "Oh my gosh," and we were just, like, rapping, and he gave me, like, words of encouragement and stuff like that, and I
AI.
would say AI, the real AI,
That's
not like this
crazy.
current AI.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so, like, moments like that mean so much to me, and, like, any interview where, like, the talent, like, pours into me because, like, again, like, I'm very spiritual, I believe in God, and I have always been, like, naturally intuitive and things like that. And it's almost
Mm.
like I've written my life into existence. Like, I wrote about stuff like this in my journals as kids. Like, as a kid, like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to, like, my mom has these journals. Like, it's very, like, it's like an outer body experience, you know?
Yeah,
And I'm just so grateful, like, honestly.
Yeah, that's
I mean,
man.
that's
Shout out Allen Iverson for one.
I like AI,
Did you
man.
ask him about practice? Did you ask him about practice?
No, it's so funny because he normally told me they were like, "Yeah, like, he's not gonna get on camera," but,
Yeah,
like,
yeah, I can tell.
I was like OD though. I had on my Allen Iverson shirt. I had like I was like that. I was like, and that's also another thing that I like don't shy away from doing. Like, I'm actually like a fan of a
Yeah.
lot of people I get to interview. And so I think he saw like this little girl with her Allen Iverson shirt on, and he came on camera and was like, I gotta come on camera.
Hey,
Like,
that's what's up. Get it how you get it though. Get it how you get
yeah,
it.
yeah, and it's funny because when I drove through Kentucky, to go to Indianapolis for I went to Indianapolis for All-Star Weekend,
Yeah.
and he had an event. I missed the opportunity to go to that. Then he had a party, and I got to go to his party, but I was like, I'm not about to be like, hello, can I like,
Yeah.
everybody's like partying. So I was
Yeah.
like, it'll happen one day, and I promise you, I got back home to Atlanta, and a week later, like, that was in my inbox to, like, interview him,
Oh, that's
and
dope.
I was
Uh,
just like whoa, like so that those moments happen to me so much, and it's like I don't know, it's surreal.
Yeah, that's what's up.
That is what's up. That's pretty interesting.
That's dope.
I know. I
That's
think
dope
the
as
last
hell.
time I seen it in person was this is years ago, but it was in Atlanta at some club. I think Lil Baby was performing headlining at some club out here. I walked by and I said, "That." I was like, "Yeah, big old diamond chain." I'm like, "Yo, this joint
Right.
dancing in the
That
club." I'm like,
definitely,
"This is
yeah, that's definitely probably AI.
yeah,
That's
chilling, bro. Just
wild.
like
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
casual, bro. Just casual, just chilling." I'm like, he got his jersey on. I'm like, "Yo, it's different." I'm like, "Yeah,
That's
that's
wild.
to meet him in flesh is different." Like, I mean, to have a conversation. I didn't have a conversation with him, but the fact that you had a conversation is a whole nother thing.
That's
Because
wild.
AI represents a lot of people, right? And I think he's
Yes.
changed, influenced basketball so much. So it's pretty cool to be able to have those experiences that people don't get to have, and especially when you're a fan of somebody you love his work, it's pretty cool. But to piggyback more so on like the journaling, right? Like, can you dive into that? Like, what is that experience to you like? Because for me, it helps, right? Like, just being able to find ways to go through your thought process and to like you say, write things into fruition and really be spiritually connected with what you want and write it down, have goals and set them, and then just have daily ideas and thoughts that you want to jot down that you want to keep to yourself. Like, to me, is a form of therapy. I know I never went to therapy, and I obviously don't want to say if you need to go to therapy. I'm not an advocate of not doing, but I don't think enough people are writing their thoughts down either, though. I don't think they do connect the pen to paper, or I mean, pencil to paper or pen to paper, what may have you. And I think just being able to have something advantageous like that to clearly identify, like, why are you feeling this way? How do you want to overcome things? Why do these people tell me that I'm wrong or they don't agree with this, and just write that down and see what the angles are. Like, how has that journey been for you? Has it been more like reflective when you do things outside of just manifesting, or how has that looked for you?
Yeah, it has been honestly, I don't even want to sound cliche, but I feel like journaling like keeps me sane. Like if I didn't
Mm,
have my journal to get my thoughts out of my, because I'm an overthinker. Like my mind is always going like even like I have to remind myself like girl, live in the moment and like stop thinking so much. Like and so for
Facts.
me it's literally like dumping my brain at the end of the day or at the start of the day. And
yeah,
I've been journaling like consistently probably since I could write for real.
yeah,
And like I just really I don't know. It's been very reflective because sometimes I randomly pull a journal off of my bookshelf and I like look opening it up and I'm just like, girl, it really wasn't even that serious. Like,
That's good
like
that you have all those in the past though to see like AI actually
yeah,
did get through
like
the
I have
situation. That's
them.
big.
Yeah, I have them on deck. And then
That's
it,
huge.
it's just so crazy because like I really be in my bed like Moesha writing in my diary. And I used to keep a
yeah,
lock on them, all of that stuff because I just, yeah. And it's funny because I always joke with my best friend I like dark humor, but like I always tell her, I'm just like, if anything happens to me, like or anything, like when it's my time to go, she gets my journals because I was like, I don't think anybody else could handle reading my journals. Like they're gonna be like nah, like she actually but like and I did get a chance to go to therapy, but like as a kid, like I grew up in a very country family. They don't believe in therapy. They don't believe in
No.
stuff like that. So
yeah,
like that was like my form of therapy and that was like just the way that I'm able to just like really see in real time like what's happening. It keeps me grounded. It just sometimes I just write random things. Sometimes I write
yeah,
poems. Like most people don't know that about me. I've been writing poetry since elementary school. Nobody ever reads my poems, so that's like my one thing that's mine. I've only like I just shared a poem with like my best friend recently and she was like, "Girl, like, whoa," because I just never do that.
yeah,
And I don't know. It's just it really is reflective though, because I like do pull out journals. Like usually when I prepare for the new year, I pull out my journal from the year, and I just like read it, and
mhm,
I'm like, oh my
Yes.
god, we did that this year. Oh, I forgot. Like we liked that guy a lot, and then 2 weeks later, it was a dub. Like like it's
That's
just like
wild. That's like
I
telling
really
your own story every year. That I might have to,
yeah,
and just like going back, because like people like little growth, I feel like is a huge thing. I feel like we don't get enough off of our little growth. When I feel like you're kind of documenting every little thing. So if that Tuesday was bad, you're like, well, damn. Then next you know, 2 Tuesdays from now, that Tuesday was good. So it's like, okay, I did get better from where I came from. Like that's actually very interesting that you said that.
yeah, I like try to encourage everybody to journal,
That's very
honestly, because
interesting.
I'm just like, oh my gosh, like things that I was freaking out about, I'm just like, oh my gosh, why? I'm almost embarrassed that I gave that this much energy. But
We do
I
that a
don't know,
lot
it's
though.
just with growth. It helps me stay very self-aware. I'll
Yeah,
say that.
That's very important. And I
yeah,
mean,
it
like you
is.
say, you not only personal things, but to like go back to what you're saying, but piggyback off of that, just you manifesting obviously like your career path and what you want to do and people you want to meet, and you've been doing that, right? And like a reflection, obviously your work, which is tremendous. And I think having the symbolism of that allows people to like you said, get to know themselves more, and that's all it is, right? Life is a continuous journey of getting better every day and getting to know yourself more and more. So I encourage like audience that's listening to just try it if you haven't. If you have, like leave a comment and see how that's how tell us like your journey about that, like how has it been affecting you and has it been helping you, and what are some tips that you've used as well. So I think more people would need to do it. I think people are aware of it. I just don't think people take the challenge of doing it. And it's important. I hope some people can bring that together back if they're not using it, because obviously social media is going to play a part. People are going to obviously be on that, but um
Yeah.
escape into your own reality. I think journalism allows you to do that, and I think that's pretty cool to be able to do that. But going
And
more
you
back
can
into like,
also I like I don't have time to write all the time sometimes too. So like my friends are
yeah,
like, I hate writing. I'm like, use your voice notes and like audio
yeah,
journal yourself and like go and listen
tough.
back. Like I hate arguing, so like sometimes I will just hit the voice memo and just go in and then play it back and I'm just like, you sound so wild right now. And then I'm
That's tough.
like, that's how I'm able to like calm down and be like, it wasn't that
That's
serious.
big. That's big.
No, that's a good one. I never
Yeah,
tried that
I didn't
one,
think
but
about that.
it's a key. You're dropping
Yeah,
jewels right now. Like
yeah,
that's a
you
key for
are.
sure. That's tough. I'm definitely gonna have to take that one these days. That
The
makes
voice memo
sense.
one is different.
What?
That's different. That's different. I
No,
just
but
call it blank when I'm mad, but now I'm
He
just gonna do
do.
a
He do.
voice. I'm just gonna call you for that. But now I'm doing my own voice memo. That's wild.
that makes sense. Oh, but like more in your recent stuff, I mean, really over your career, like you really champion diversity and unrepresented voices like as a core part of your work. Like, how do you see the landscape of film and television evolving in that regard? And like, what role do you hope to play in that change as it continues to evolve?
Yeah, so I feel like everything that I do is for like my younger self. It's like I'm always like,
Mhm.
okay, like what did I want to see or need to see as a little brown girl living in rural Virginia? And um, I'm very intentional about the things that I cover or highlight because of that.
Yeah,
Especially like natural hair too, because I'm just like, oh my gosh, like growing up. My mom and I had big beef because she would not let me get a relaxer. I have just very curly hair. And I was like,
right,
oh my gosh, all my friends have straight hair. Like, please. I made a PowerPoint presentation and she was like, no. And now, like, as an adult, I'm glad like she didn't, and no shade to the relaxers
Yeah,
because, you gotta sometimes you gotta
do what you
straighten
gotta
it out.
do.
Yeah, and so but I'm always like, "Dang, like, what did I need to see as a kid?" And it's just, like, just beautiful brown skin, beautiful, like, curly hair, also and I don't say like, when I say, like, nerdy, I don't even mean it in a negative way, but I feel
right,
like I was just a very odd child and people like didn't really like accept that, you know what I'm saying? So it was just like I liked like different stuff and I got like joked on because of it. But like so I'm always thinking about stuff like that. So I like a lot of just out of this world stuff
yeah,
and my approach to the work that I do and the stories that I highlight and champion, I'm always just looking for like that different factor or like, hmm, somebody like a kid watching this is gonna look at it and feel seen. So like that's like something that's big for me. And I'm just excited for like where we are right now because
Yeah.
there's so much cool shit out here. Like there's so much things like that. Like I met somebody that like make like he like does like he like makes sure that the bubbles in your beer are like right. And I'm just like, "Whoa, that's a job?"
That's different.
Oh my gosh, like,
Wow.
you know what I'm saying? Like,
You get paid for
just
that
like
shit.
yeah, like, you get paid to test out bubbles in
You
beer,
get paid for that shit, man.
oh,
That's wild.
like, you know what I'm saying? So, I just like the out of the ordinary, and I think, but back to what you were asking, it's just
Yeah.
really cool just seeing, like, people like Marseille Martin, right? Like, just
Mhm.
being able, like, she, like, creates such cool stuff, like, from writing and producing and acting, people like Issa Rae, like, I don't know, I just think, like, there's so many unique creatives out here right now. I just did a junket today for this film called The Supremes at All You Can Eat at Earl's. It's such a long title, but, it has, Aunjanue Ellis, Sanaa Lathan, Mekhi
Okay.
Phifer, Russell Hornsby, just a stellar cast, and it's all about friendship, like Black women friendship, and just like how that carries you through life. And I like felt so seen because I'm like, I feel like like even you guys starting the show with the word transformation, right? Like I've been spending so much time with my good girlfriends, and we are all in like transitional periods of our lives. Is actually nuts. Like it's like we all are in our 30s, and now it's like everybody is like in a new chapter, and it's never been like
Mhm.
this all at once. And so like seeing that reflected in films, I'm like, whoa, like that's our real life. And I
That's
don't
why you
know.
said that. That's wild you said that though. That is true that a lot of people are in there, switching
Yeah, like, what
situations and
is
stuff like
going
that.
on?
Yeah.
It's
It's
and
just that time. I feel like now, like you're kicking back what you said earlier about the different phase. I feel like back then, different was so frowned upon, but now it's all about being different. People doing things
mhm,
to be so different, they be in controversy now. It's like, do you
mhm,
want to be so different? But back in the day, you were like, no, I want to be the same person everybody else because that's the norm. But now,
mhm.
Yeah.
normal is being different. So I think it's just crazy how you saying like the progression and stuff like that. So
Tough. It's
Yeah, for
tough.
sure.
But um like you contributed to like a lot of variety of, renowned outlets like Shadow and Act. Like how has your writing for such diverse platforms influenced and obviously respectively others, like influenced your perspective of like the entertainment industry right now?
Um, I would have to say that I feel like as a journalist, I feel like the state of journalism right now is so weird
Mhm.
because people don't value real reporting. Like people don't value like really researching. Like people want to be so fast to like get things up or like just jump the gun
Uh,
or like
yeah.
it's very like one-sided and you know what I mean or like I would never be like, "Oh my gosh, I'm not gonna cover that because I don't like it." Like, girl, what? Like, you know
yeah,
what I'm saying? Because it's just like even scrolling on Twitter or like Instagram, it just blows my mind every day that so many people just wake up so angry. They hate everything. Like, they have an opinion on everything. They just want to be kind of like what you said with like being so different. It's just like I think people get on the internet, they're like, "Oh, this person's happy. I'm about to say something
exactly.
crazy
It's
so I
just
could
to
go
do it.
viral." Yeah, it's like people wanna
Just to
go
do
viral
it.
so bad, like and that's
So
why I have a
bad.
love-hate I have such a love-hate relationship with social media because when I
Exactly.
started
Yes.
college yeah, like, oh my gosh. Like, when I started college, we had a journalist class called, like, iPad something, and we learned how to use Twitter to, like, report, and it's so funny seeing it, like, matriculate now because 'cause I'm
Yeah.
like see it, like, over the years because I'm like, "Whoa." this is really like I get a lot of my stories from Twitter, like from a tweet or and then, sliding in DMs and being like, "Can I talk to you about this?" And so I've just really, really learned that I'm in a unique place and I'm not going to change who I am. And I
Mm.
just want to bring back real reporting. That's like just the biggest thing. And then also, not even from that, I know so many amazing journalists that don't have platforms or don't have a place to share their work
Yeah.
because we have become a very numbers driven
Yeah.
Yeah.
society. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I did an interview with Sway one time, and he told me, he was like, don't ever get caught up in the numbers because he was like, I don't own anything from like the work I did at MTV. Make sure like you own things, but like don't chase numbers. Like, you know what I mean? So like sometimes I'll have my editors will be like, "Oh, you had the highest performing story." And I'm like, "Oh, that's cool." But like I don't wake up in the morning and be like, how can I have the top performing story today? I'm just like,
Mm.
okay, like what's going on in the world today and how can I add to that and how can I like I don't know tell stories like even back to like I executive produced a documentary on my family. It's called Voices Unheard. And cuz my great grandpa, he pioneered the black farmers movement on the East Coast. So like the big payout that the farmers got, like my great uncles, they got money and like my nana and because they have farms. But it's just so
Wow.
crazy because I never knew that, you guys, until my great grandpa. And ironically, his name is Grandpa Moses. And so Grandpa Moses started, like, he contributed to the Pickford like settlement that ended up like that was so long ago. But oh, what I was saying is when he passed, I'm sorry, I have like a little bit of ADHD. I
Good.
think.
Oh, you good.
Go.
I think
Show
good.
story.
But
Yeah.
when he passed, CNN came and covered his funeral, and I was like, "Why is CNN here?" And then they were like talking about his farming, but like to me, growing up, I was just like, "Oh, I can't wait to get to the city. I'm trying to be like Carrie Bradshaw. I want to just write. I want to be away from this."
Yeah.
But now as an adult, I have such more appreciation because I'm like, "Whoa, this is my family's lineage."
Yeah.
True enough.
Like I know a lot of my paternal great grandparents. I grew up with all three of them. The fourth one passed right before I was born, and I thought that that was normal. I thought everybody knew their great grandparents and everybody knew like family lineage and stuff like that. And so I don't know. I just feel like I have like and not to ramble, I just feel like now I understand why I was called to do this work because I was called to like share their stories and amplify their stories. I told you guys I wanted to be a sports reporter. I never in a million years wanted to produce a documentary on my family. I just was like, hey, maybe one day I might want to have kids and they want to know where they come from. And then I'll just do this project. And my family obliged. And then, like, Aspire TV, they aired it. I think this is the last year it's going to be airing. And then it's on YouTube for folks to watch. But yeah, like I don't know. It just gives me chills sometimes, but I'm like
Crazy.
understanding like all the full circle moments. I'm like, whoa, this is kind of crazy.
So I have a quick question for you, and you kind of touched on it a little bit, but I want to backtrack a little bit of why do you think people don't really care? Not necessarily don't really care, but why do you think people don't report like the truth instead of like focusing on like numbers based? Because like I look at it all the time, especially when election year comes around, and I'm not gonna get into politics because I hate talking about that nonsense.
Yeah, me
But
too.
like you see a lot, and then it's just like a lot of just throwing the other person on the bus, lying on their name, like no matter what's true and what's wrong, you don't know. And I think that's the biggest downfall in all news reporting, especially like you see on ESPN. ESPN has changed so much in the last five
Yes.
years.
Yeah, they have.
It's like it's
I'm
not
just like, what is this?
yeah, you don't see any of the highlights or the actual
Not
reporting
sports
anymore.
anymore.
It's just
Yeah.
clickbait. That's all it is. So I guess I mean you kind of hit on a little bit of people trying to drive up the numbers and just exactly social media is kind of taking over. But why do you think people care so much more about that rather than actually telling the truth?
Yeah, I think right now we live in a society where it is championed to be dumb. Like being like not knowing things or like not wanting to like seek out the truth is rewarded. Like people are rewarded for doing stupid shit. Like, and when that happens, it affects everything, even down to the news cycle, right? People don't feel like they need to like know what's going on in the world. They just want to be in their own bubbles. They want to only talk to people who like I'm not like I what I love about my friend group is that we literally are so different, but like we are so like alike still. But like if you talk to it's like sometimes we share one brain cell, but we're like so like very different. And I think that that has contributed to my growth as a person tremendously, right? Because just because I don't like X, Y, and Z, I think that's the problem. People are like, "Oh, I don't like X, Y, and Z, and this person is talking about X, Y, and Z, so I'm gonna shit on them because I don't like it." It's
Exactly.
like a lot of times when people like say like outlandish things, like for example, when people share clips on social media and it's like one part of the clip and everybody has an opinion, right? And then you like, have you guys ever just asked like a troll or somebody that is so opinionated why they don't like something? And then they can never give you a straightforward answer. They'll just be like, I mean, like, I just don't like it. Like, like I think that that contributes to it too. I definitely feel like we have also witnessed politicians in the past that have like really pushed like that whole era of like fake news and like things like that. So like when you're putting that out into the world and you have all of these people like we're all just mixed up. Like I saw this tweet before where it was like, in high school, it's kind of like everybody was like in different, I guess, tier classes in high school or whatever. Now we're all
Right.
together.
Yeah,
And there's
yeah.
nothing wrong with that, but it allows for people to just I don't know. I think that social media is, like, one of the best and worst things that could have happened to us. I can't say it's all bad because if it wasn't for social media, like, I wouldn't be here in this way, right? Social media has helped my career tremendously, but at the same time, it has also ignited, like, this whole every person for self type of mentality, and it's nobody is nobody thinks independently anymore, or people are scared to like talk about how they feel out of fear of like being canceled. Like also I don't think cancel culture is a real thing. I think it's a part of the problem too. But that's a story for another day. But
Agreed.
I hope that that kind of answers your question. I feel like it's just a combination of people don't know the facts, they don't research things, people just run off and again like they were people we reward mediocrity and like stupidity, and then I don't know, I don't think people care enough.
No.
Like, so sometimes I have to dial it back because I'm a very passionate person, and I'm just like, whoa, like once I realize that I'm like overly passionate and this the person that I'm talking to doesn't receive it, I'm like, oh, okay, like I don't know, like I don't want to get like too deep, but sometimes I feel like we aren't all like okay, so for instance, like all four of us here, obviously
Mm.
like we are on the same kind of plane, right? We're on the same kind of plane. But have you ever talked to somebody and you're like, whoa, you're not even on the same earth.
Yeah,
Like like you're not
Oh
even
yeah.
in the same
yeah,
dimension.
yeah.
Like
You
it's
in a
like
whole different way.
yeah, like, but I'm
Yeah,
just like, you're not even on my dimension. Like,
yeah.
oh, I think that that also is a part of the problem. But
And they think they dimension the best. Like there's no other dimension than that
yeah,
one. That's
yeah,
what's crazy. Like they don't think
yeah,
there's
and
any other worlds out there. It's just theirs. Like nobody
yeah,
else but them. Yes,
Yeah.
yeah,
hundred
and I
percent.
think the love of learning has been lost.
Yes.
People
Mm,
don't
agree.
read, like, people don't
Don't want
like
to understand other people.
Bring back those pizza things, you know, where you had to read and,
Oh
like,
yeah,
get a free
yeah, yeah,
Pizza Hut?
Yeah.
Like,
oh yeah.
please, the
Abuse
children
those.
can't read. Yeah, the children are not okay because they cannot read.
Yeah.
I think you hit it right on the head. Is like also, I think we fall for you get more popular, so to say, just acting dumb. But then also, I think
Mhm.
the average like listener is also dumb because like I go back and listen to it all the time and think about it. Just like when Max Kellerman was on First Take with Stephen A. Smith talking about, no, I'd rather take Andre Iguodala than Steph Curry, and people are like, oh my god, I can't believe that. I'm like, you guys are dumb for
Viral.
falling. You're dumb
Yeah.
for falling for it because then they just talk about it for the next week and a half until they find some other clip that they can bait. And it's
Yeah.
just like I think us as a society are dumb, and exactly what you said is just where us as a society don't like to one listen or learn. It's just like what you said is like if you're having an argument, you don't want to hear their side, or other people don't want to hear your side. They just want to be like, no, sorry, you're wrong, I'm leaving. Instead
Yeah.
of, oh, like actually, why do you think that? Like, okay, that's interesting. I
Yeah.
never thought of that point. It's just the little things in life we're kind of losing out on, and it's slowly getting worse. Especially with, like you said, social media is a great thing, but also a terrible thing. Same thing with these new iPhones, great invention, but also with especially with this new generation, and every single year you see it just get worse and worse and worse to where, like I work with some undergrad students who are like 18, 19, and you're talking to them and they're just like on their phone and they're like, sorry, I blanked out for 5 minutes, and you're just like, all right, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
that's
like
not rude.
Yeah.
yes,
Like
and
that's
it's
the
like
craziest thing.
yeah,
That's
and I'm just
crazy.
like, I've been a teenager before,
Yeah.
right? I've been annoying, like, I have a little cousin who's a teenager now, and I'm just like, I've been in your shoes before, girl, like, but you can't even sit at the dinner table and not be on your phone is, like,
Yeah. It's
crazy to me.
wild.
And then it's people my age too, and even, like, my parents' age. I'm just like, "Put your phone away. Like, it's
Yeah.
gonna be
Yeah.
okay." I
Yeah.
don't know, like, I just am waiting for the day that I don't know. I can't say it's all bad though, because I think right now we're in, the truth. We're in, like, the
Yeah.
truth. So, again, like, I love, like, astrology and stuff like that, right? And right now we're in the age of Aquarius, and Aquarians like good, like, they want the world to be better. They want to, like, restore take away the power from the bad people type of
Yeah.
vibes, and so that's why you
Mm.
see, like, all of these people falling from grace or
Yeah.
being exposed and things, so I'm optimistic that we're slowly but surely getting back to it,
Yeah.
but I think that we need to wake it up more that it's just not okay. Like, I tell my cousin all the time, I'm just like, "That's not cool." Like, I'm just
Yeah.
like, "Girl,
Yeah.
it's not even cool."
Give
Like,
me
"You
15
wanna be
minutes.
like everybody?" I'm just like,
Yeah.
"What?" Like, but I
Yeah.
understand because I was a teenager before. I know what that's like. So,
But it is a
I
little
don't know.
bit different though, I feel like. It's a little
I would
different, I
hate
feel like.
to be a teenager today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I
It's
really
different.
empathize for them. I feel really
Yeah.
bad for them. I really,
Yeah.
really do.
Yeah, it's different. We were growing up with it, like casually going up, but they already had it. That's right.
Yeah.
Even with my son, I'm like, man, I can't believe let him on that tablet because I gotta like pull that tablet away from him, boy, because he'll be staring at the thing like, nah, bro, let's go
Yeah.
outside
Yep.
because he'll sit on that thing.
Yeah, and did
Yeah.
y'all know, like, the new Toy Story, reportedly that's
Oh, I
coming
heard
out
about.
there, it's gonna be, like, combating the iPad kids, and somebody was like, "The
Yeah.
toys might actually die." Because have you ever met an iPad kid?
Yeah,
Yeah.
They
yeah,
are
yeah,
scary.
yeah. They are.
Definitely.
Like,
I'm
and
pretty
even,
sure.
Definitely.
like,
Yeah,
my little cousins, like, she's, like, 2, she knows how to decline the call when you're
yeah.
calling.
It's
Yep.
different.
If she's in her zone, Coco Melon or
Yeah,
whatever,
it's different.
it's
Scary.
decline. I'm like,
Yeah,
"Whoa,"
and they'll call
like,
you back after the video done. It's wild,
yeah, it's
Yep.
just like,
wild, wild.
What?
Yeah,
Yeah. Freaking TKD's his son, he used to always
yeah,
call me on his Apple Watch. I was like,
yeah.
how'd you know how to call me on your Apple
Yeah,
Watch?
yeah. It's ridiculous, dude. I'm telling you.
yeah, and I have a goddaughter who's 12, so I lean on her a lot because I'm
Yeah,
not learning another social media platform, I'm sorry. So I'm
yeah,
always, "Help your
That's
godmama out with
yeah,
TikTok,
yeah,
please."
yeah. Different beast over there.
Yeah.
no, it
Very
is.
different.
It is.
Nothing beats
It
Vine
is.
though. I don't care what nobody said. Nothing will ever beat Vine.
Oh
That
yes!
was
Oh my gosh, Vine was so
yeah,
fun.
that dope.
I did used to like want to be Vine famous. I'm
Yes,
not
me
gonna lie.
too. 6
Everyone
seconds
did.
make somebody laugh
Like,
is elite.
yeah,
Elite.
Crazy.
and yeah, I might have recorded a few
Oh yeah,
videos.
me
Like
too. Oh, yeah, of
I was just
course.
like, whoa.
I need my
What
Vine
a challenge.
back. Yeah. Different breed, bro. 6 seconds. That's what I'm saying. They were elite. When they used to do all that what was that one dude? He kind of like nav a little bit. That was be on the Vine. He would like go inside the phone and stuff. Do you know who that is?
Oh,
I know who you're
I
talking about, but
don't.
I don't remember his name though.
When
I
he
don't
did
remember.
that stuff, I was like, bro, you are different.
Like
Within
it
six
was just
seconds, it was
so
different.
innovative. Like bring that back,
Yeah,
and
that's elite.
bring that back. That was a fun era, and it was still
Fun era.
creative. And I don't know if you guys have had a chance to watch the Flipper series on Hulu.
No, I heard
Not
No,
it's
yet.
not
No.
yet.
wild.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, it's
wild.
crazy. It's crazy, and I remember being on Twitter as that unfolded, and
Yeah,
so, but it's cool to go back and look at the rise of like GIFs and like things like that.
yeah,
Memes that was all happening during that era, and I was like,
Yeah,
whoa.
crazy.
yeah,
I completely
yeah.
forgot that that was like what was going on because I'm an OG Twitter girl. I was on
Oh,
Twitter.
gee.
Oh, gee, like they used to have Twitter after dark when I was on
Yeah,
Twitter.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was wild.
yeah.
Yeah.
Twitter jail was a thing. People don't know about
Yeah,
Twitter
Twitter
jail, man.
jail,
Oh my
yeah.
They
gosh,
don't
Michael,
know.
I used
They
to.
don't
You want to know
know.
something that's so funny, and
So,
this is how I knew that I was probably destined to be a journalist because in high school, I was in a program called Upward Bound at Virginia State University, and we were for the summer we were taking a trip. We were coming back from this sports like kind of arcade place called Swaders, and I don't know. I think on my phone you could text like your tweets. It was like
Yeah, yeah,
4404 or
yeah,
something
yeah,
like
yeah. I
that,
remember
the
that.
number. Yeah, and
mhm.
so I don't know how I got the information. I really don't. But Michael Jackson had died. And I remember being on the bus and I was like, "Hey guys, Michael Jackson died." And everybody was like, "No, he didn't. You don't know." Da 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 da. And then literally it came on the radio like 3 minutes later. They were like, "How did you know that?" And I was just, I really think I was on Twitter and I was like, whoa, like this really happened. And it was like one of those standstill moments. And yeah,
That's crazy.
Twitter
That's
used to
crazy.
be so fun. Now it's so, I hate every day somebody is mad. Like now they're even mad at the word demure. And I'm like, actually, this should encourage y'all to enhance your vocabulary. Like,
Yeah, Twitter's
add
different.
more new words of the day.
Yeah,
Like,
Twitter is. But I will say one thing. It's the best damn app. 'Cause that
it
shit's
is.
funny
I'm
as
never
hell.
getting rid of.
I can't
I'm
get
never
rid of
getting
that
rid
shit's
of
funny
Twitter.
as hell.
And you know what? His mama named him Twitter. I'm gonna call him Twitter. I'm not
Yeah.
calling it X.
See,
So
yeah, we'll get to that. We'll get to that.
Nah,
We'll get to that.
we're gonna keep
Facts.
moving.
No, we'll get to that. Don't worry. You'll hear in this when we start closing. We wrap everything up. You said it right thing. It's the right thing.
That's crazy. No, but like looking ahead, like what are some of the projects or stories like you're most excited to explore in the future, if you can share any of that stuff? And like, how do you plan on continuing to push the boundaries of like direction of entertainment that you want to highlight?
yeah, so I'm actually working on my own thing right now. I shot
Okay.
like a kind of like play episode this week to kind of like I don't know, figure it out. And, I'm a little bit of a perfectionist when it comes to my own stuff.
I feel that.
And
Yeah.
so it's a show. It's going to be called Music Bites, but BYTES. And I'm about to
Okay.
restore the feeling, y'all. I'm going to restore the feeling of VH1 behind the music. I feel
Wow.
like the youth
Throwback.
is disturbed
It's
because
major
they don't
throwback.
have VH1 behind the music. And I'm gonna
Yeah.
restore that feeling. We're just gonna be having fun. I'm gonna be talking to music enthusiasts, musicians, writers, producers, just anybody that has a true love for music. And we're just gonna unpack like dope projects from the past, present, and the stuff coming out in the future. And that's something I'm really, really excited about. because it's an idea that has been in my head for like a really long time. So it's like I'm excited to like be a little witch and do my little magician stuff and pull it out and make it happen. So I'm really
Yeah.
excited about that. I'm excited to just keep it going, like, in terms of, like, stories and stuff like that. Like, I still have dream interviews. Like, I still wanna talk to Usher. I still wanna talk to Beyoncé. Like, I still, like, have people I really wanna sit down Missy Elliott. Like, I wanna talk to all of Virginia, honestly, everybody, 'cause I want to, because 'cause I'm from Virginia, and,
Yeah.
I'm just really excited about being a real full-time creative entrepreneur. Like, this freelance game has been really hard for me. Transparently, it's just been hard. I jumped off the porch and was full freelance starting in 2022. So I've only been like in the game for 2 years, like
Mhm.
independently in this way. And I'm finally starting to like get my footing, and it just makes me so happy because like to me, in my head, I think like my mama, my nana, my daddy, like my sister and brother, my younger sister and brother. I feel like my family and my friends are the only people that read my work. But I'll go places like sometimes like being at Essence Festival and somebody is like, "Oh, like I really love your work." And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, really? Like you read
Yeah.
something I wrote?" I don't know, that still
Yeah.
like blows my it's very surreal to me. I don't know why, but yeah, I just want to keep telling like amazing stories, and I just want to keep giving the voiceless a voice because I know what it's like not to have a voice or not to feel like you can advocate or talk for yourself. And so I just want to be the best journalist that I can be. And I just want to learn, I want to grow, and I want to evolve. And like what I do it for is like so that the next little Shanique in Dinwiddie County, Virginia, can like see somebody like from where she's from, small town girl with big crazy dreams. Like again, like growing up and telling
Yeah.
people like, oh, or like playing Oprah as a kid. Like, like I just want people to know that it is attainable and that it can be done. And I don't know, I just really hope that anybody that comes across any work that I do leaves a better person, leaves inspired, or just I don't know. That's like where I'm at with it right now.
No, that's amazing. I think that's very important to be able to leave your stamp, right? And I think everybody has their own intrinsic ways of doing that. And yours just happen to be writing. I think you're really doing a great job of that. I think you're highlighting the areas that need to be highlighted and then finding new ways to implement ideas that need to be revamped. And, taking out the closet that's been pushed in there because of new social media, new apps, new AI, like a lot of things that just continue to overshadow um, things that I guess felt really nostalgic to a lot of people, right? And I think it's important for us to find authenticity in that, and I think you found a great way of doing that. And I think, encouraging anybody that want to follow that journey to just be able to be inspired in that. I tell my team all the time, it's like, motivation is cool, but I think what's leading us right now is that we're genuinely inspired by like the work that we're doing. Like same thing as you. It's like, yeah, I can't believe somebody listened to episode 3 or 4 or 7. It's like, we just doing it so often because we enjoy it and we just do it to make us better. And in turn, hope somebody else gets better, just by listening to it. And the fact that we can do that speaks volume to us. And I think that's what separates, great from good. Just the passion and drive, inspiration behind that, because inspiration can take you forever. I think motivation just take you to tomorrow. And I think that's important. So, Shanique, again, like really thank you for sharing your story. As we wrap up, we want to go back to the word transformation and give opportunity for everybody to share like what that means to them. So, Shanique, like, what do you feel? You touched on it briefly earlier. Like, what do you think transformation is
Yeah.
to you in this journey right now with you?
Yeah, so right now, I like try to think of myself as a butterfly. I have like four butterflies tattooed on me. I just love them.
Mm.
And when I think about transformation, I think about a butterfly. Like I saw a meme earlier this week. It was like, you guys are scared to start over. I'm on my fourth life right now. That's how I
Mm.
feel a lot. Like
I feel that
I
though.
yeah, like
I
I feel
mean,
like if you guys would have talked to me at this time last year, I y'all would have been like, "She okay?" Like, but I feel like I had to go through that to get to
Yeah,
this. And sometimes I had to go back to my cocoon and get like my beautiful wings and like colors again. So that's what transformation means to me. It's just transcending from past versions of myself, but
mhm,
continuing to honor them along the way.
beautiful.
I love that.
DK,
Yeah. Kind of
you got something
piggybacking
for
what
us?
she kind of said at the end, like the transformation, like always, getting better, but never forget about your old self. I feel like always still being true to yourself is really big. Also, I mean, and never beat the old guy up or girl, you would say, never beat them up, like, because obviously that person was a person too when you make that transition into your new self and stuff like that. So this basically, like I said, always stay true and never forgetting. Never
Mm.
forgetting is a big thing, I would say, going with transformation as well.
That's facts. Brian, you got anything for it?
Yeah, I mean, like what Shanique said upon and TK kind of spoke upon, and Shanique kind of hit it on the head earlier. Is like you talk about your friend group going through like a transformation period. I feel like our group is also going through a transformation period. I mean, like I just quit my job that I never thought I was ever going to quit, and then for hopes for the better. Um, and TK, I'm sure he's in the same boat here soon. Hopefully, we're gonna get him out. We're gonna get him right. Like Michael, he moving out of his state and moving back up here. So we're all going through transformation periods too. And I think the biggest difference between I guess change and transformation is you should always be trying to change your life day to day for the better. Whereas transformation, you'll actually
Mhm.
look back and be like, oh yeah, I January 1st, I got back in my cocoon. March 30th, whatever it is, I transform into the new person that I am and kind of look back and be like, okay, now I see all the differences and the transformation periods that I've gone through. And I just didn't go through one, I went through maybe four of my last 10 years or whatever it is. Like
Yeah.
transformation is just a huge part. And you kind of hit up on it like the metamorphosis, as I like to say it.
No, I mean you all I think perfectly identify what that looks like. And I think for me it's more so it's a really good quote that I hear every so often. It's like everybody has two lives, but the second one starts when you realize you only have one. And it's like that is very nostalgic to me. It's just being intentional with your time, being intentional with your energy, and understanding that no is a great way to say yes to yourself. And I think when you have opportunities to say no because now you're figuring out, okay, I need to evolve out of an environment that no longer is serving me to get to a higher one that I want to partake in to not only lead myself, but to follow, God and follow my passion and follow my dreams and then be able to inspire others. There's a unique transition and then transformation phase when you have to be a better version of yourself to equate to that new environment, right? And I think that's important for all of us to be able to get there. And it's super important and it's fun. I think there's fun in the chaos of it, and I think we can all find the like you say like in journalism like to find the self nuances within that. And I think just being able to be cautious and intentional with your transformation and accept the things that you can't change, accept the things that you are today, and then be able to persevere and then be committed to what's can happen in the future. I think is all in the journey of that. So that's my little 2 cents on that. And I think it's been really been intentional for the team. I think we have better conversation now because we all are very in a, like you say, in a transformational state. We're intentional. We want to do better, and we really try to make sure that we are accountable on each other. So um, I think it's a fantastic word, and I'm glad that we was able to choose this one for this episode. I think it's very fitting, and I'm glad everybody was able to. Listen to us this week about that episode. I mean, not episode, sorry, but that word of the week for this episode. But yeah, I mean, as we wrap up, thank you again, Shanique. I'm glad that we had a conversation with you, TK, LeBranc. Obviously, y'all did a phenomenal job, and I appreciate you, brothers, as well. So let's give out social medias so everybody can stay in tune. Shanique, what's the social media? That's a good handle for you that everybody can continue to follow you, continue to watch your story, continue to support you, and continue to follow your movements.
Yeah, well, thank y'all so much. This was so fun. This was such a great conversation. Like, I feel like I'm leaving with my spirit so full. And so you guys can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at As Told by Sly. And then I'm on the Clock app, TikTok. um, as told by Slide 3 on there. And then on YouTube, it's just Shanique, Shanique, last name Yates, Yates.
Beautiful. DK,
Well, like she said earlier,
come
like
on, man.
Shanique said earlier, it's the Twitter, never the X at TKD2 Gaming. Also, subscribe to the YouTube channel at TKD2 Gaming as well. And then underscore on Instagram at TKD2 Gaming. I'm telling y'all, it's going to be a movement. That X stuff is not with it. It's Twitter. Y'all going to
Come on,
start
man.
seeing Shanique hit it around the head. We going to be in touch now because you said that.
Listen, I'm
You
here
know.
for it.
You know.
The brain boss man, can you shout out your social for it, brother?
Yeah, I'll make it quick since TK took up all my time.
Hey, man,
But
listen. I let you know, man.
every week. But you
Yes.
can catch me on all social media at LeBranks on Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. All that stuff's still the same. LeBranks Gaming on Instagram. We like I say every single week we do have a voicemail number. If you guys want to call in, leave us a comment, ask us a question. That voicemail number is 859-363-5365. Again, like I always say each week, there's a long dial tone. I don't know how to fix that, but you guys call, you hear the same thing. Again, that number is 859-363-5365. But I'm going to pass it back over to you, D. Markel.
Appreciate that, man. And you can follow me at Dear Michael, DearMykel. Again, it's DearMykel. And then our group podcast show is Dear Radio Show on all platforms. So make sure you stay on the lookout for that. We got a lot of updates coming in. Soon, a lot of new guests coming on, a lot of great gems being dropped. So make sure you stay up to date with that. And we do have a website coming together pretty soon, and that finished and wrapped up for everybody. So man, we got a lot of exciting things to come forth in the future, man. So for new episodes coming up, make sure you stay tuned and lock in with us. So we're super excited for everybody that's been watching us thus far, that's been listening to this far, and continue to have a great season. So thank you everybody again, and we hope to hear you and see you and be able to reach you next season. I'm sorry, next episode next week. So everybody have a great week. Thank you so much. Peace.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
See ya.